Denise, I got an opportunity to catch up with AMEICN Burton, who is the director of the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage and also a fantastic photographer. He was over in Africa, and this is a project that he has put together over numerous years, and the best thing to do is just take a look. We're here at the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage, and I'm here with AMEICN Burton, and he has put together a photographic retrospective, and it covers a time period between 1979 and 2024, and it's called Journeys in the African American Diaspora. So, AMEICN, first of all, welcome back to Urban Lifestylez, and tell me what made you take on this project.
Well, yeah, I just want to make one correction. It's the journeys in the African diaspora. And when I mean the African diaspora, I'm talking about all the places that Africans have migrated to, whether forced migration or volunteer migration. In this case, I focus a lot more on the involuntary migration, places like Cuba, Haiti, Barbados, Colombia, Brazil. And so that's what my focus is. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is to look at, what things have survived, what are the similarities between the various Africans in these different places. So when you go through the exhibition, you kind of see that.
So when you're talking about some of the likenesses and some of the differences, what was a couple of things that really stood out to you?
Well, food, for instance. When I went to Nigeria, my wife and I went to Nigeria. Our first trip was in 1979. And we had a favorite food there called akara, A-K-A-R-A, akara. And my wife learned how to cook that on an open fire. All right. Fast forward to 2005 when we were in Brazil, and they have what you call akara J stands, where you actually can go and buy these big bun-like akaras, and they would fill them with fish. So I have a picture of her learning how to make the akara in 1976, and then also have a picture of her buying akara in Brazil in 2005.
As I look around the wall, it's a very expansive exhibit. Are there certain photographs, certain images that really resonate with you, that really, I just say, stand out for you, and it's like, that's the one?
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is just scratching the surface. I have so many images, and it was very difficult for me to make a decision on what I was going to put in the show. But if I was to talk about what my highlights were, the highlights would be, my meeting Bishop Tutu in South Africa. All right, I met him twice. We partied together because he did like to party. So, it's those kinds of things. Barbados. I went to Barbados, learned a lot about, Barbados. We hear a lot about Barbados, but we don't know about the history of resistance there. So I tried to represent that in the show. Colombia has the third largest black population outside of Brazil. Brazil has the second largest outside of Africa. All right. So these are the things that I want to, bring up. And then Cuba, it's like being in Africa. Haiti, when I was in Haiti, I often forgot that I was in Haiti. I thought I was in Africa because of the way that things are there.
Your pictures are telling a great story, and you're, sharing with the audience, some who will probably never have the opportunity to make this trip. So what are some times that the exhibit is up, and when can they get in, and different things like that?
Yeah, so the exhibit opening on September the 12th, and it will go to December the 12th. This exhibit is part of the Louisville Photo Biennial. And so we're hoping that a whole lot of people will come through. People came through for the reception last night, and it was wonderful. And we're open from 10 to 4, Monday to Friday. And we're open some Saturdays, depending on what's happening. You would have to call to find out if we're going to be open on a particular Saturday that you would like to come.
Now, is any of this work online?
Yes, it's interesting you would say that. The catalog is online, and we will be posting the link. And so people who want to see the show can come to see the show and get a free catalog, or you can go online if you don't want to come to see the show.
Well, I'm here with Martin D'Souza, and you spoke today, and you were talking about victory. And I happened to be looking around the walls as I was talking with Akram, and I noticed that you're also a part of this photographic presentation. So tell us about your talk today.
Thank you. My talk today is about presenting Benin and Ouida as a slave town, and also highlighting the work of victory. We say work of victory. Why? Work of victory because of the coming back home of Afro descendants to the motherland. I initiate the work of victory because of my dual heritage, descendant from a slave trader and a slave. So my great-grandmother was a slave deported from Nigeria to Ouida, where she was bought by a Portuguese to serve him. And my father's side, we are slave traders. So what can we do today to reconcile ourselves with Mother Africa? I invite the Afro-descendants to come to Ouida so that we can forgive ourselves. We can share experiences, forgiveness and reconciliation.
So Denise, it was a fantastic art exhibit. It's going to be there for some time. So if you haven't seen it, I encourage everyone to go out and see it because it just really shows you the plight and the struggles of Africans and how they've been displaced all across this country.
What I found was so captivating to me is the beauty and how he captured so much of it and just the culture throughout and the colors, and it was just awesome to me, and I just loved it all.
You owe it to yourself to take a look. We'll take another break and we'll be right back.